disrupt, disorientate FPX if they're going to have a chance in this match.
I think that's a fair call. If you're Vitality, that 1-0 lead is valuable. Defensive side, let's see what they can disrupt them with a Bucky in the hands of Brams. He goes out, frenzy in hand, looking for the fight up close and wins it, dashing away, and now here comes the Bucky play. They won't be ready for it after seeing the frenzy early on. They've heard one outside. They know that ult orb was being toyed with, and they're going to wait for it to be tapped again, I presume, or for someone to make noise to swing, spotting out that no one's there. FPX now group up and then fall back. I like it. I think they made a bit of noise in B main there as well. They double stepped up towards the alleyway, had Zipan holding it, and now they've just shifted back to mid to try to take these fights.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch, but this is pre-nerf Bucky. So this is as scary as a Bucky may ever get. And there is Brams ready and waiting. Vac alongside him. This is going to be a deadly duo that I'm looking forward to watching in this match. And there you go. Bucky is pretty strong here today. And 2-0 for Vitality, keeping that one nice and clean as well.
He's like floating on a cloud as well, you know. With Jet, obviously, when you jump and hold the jump button, you can glide down softly. So I love this. You can see him here. He jumps up, takes the first kill, and then he just floats back down. Very peaceful on his cloud, and then firing
I feel
a
like
shotgun.
the sound's not the right sound though. It needed to be like a as he shot rather than the as it just backs away. It doesn't.
Should change
doesn't
just for the
right.
animation. Perfect. Oh, that camera. I love this camera. It spots so much. Zipan, he's going straight through and eventually finds the kill. Another well-placed flash. Gotta give credit to our Breach players. And that's Shadow, allowing him to get that kill and not just be destroyed. Running away and healing. Oh, caught on the wall. Loki, he's missed the angle, and that's going to cost him his life. A 3 versus 4 now as FPX get the site, and the retake is going to be pretty tough. Brams, though, runs in at 2.
Yeah, this is a round again where a lot of it comes down to making things costly, but they're bringing it into a position where it's winnable. Vac picking off one. However, Xiao on the site has made things nigh and impossible. Really? He's going to pick up the Bucky? Okay. I respect the attempt. That would have been a play and a half if it worked, but I feel like Zipan might have been frowning a little bit. Like, try that against me? Really?
Yeah.
No.
So Zipan's peak, I think, was based off the sound cue of the weapon being dropped, but then he is even happier to find that it was the last pack on the floor. Look at that. Perfect timing. Yeah, Sander made some good space, though. He crapped out a spawn. He got down the alleyway. It was just being watched, though, so there wasn't a chance. FPX 2-1. They're down, but they're right back in the game. And with the Vandals, the 5 Vandals in play, Zipan's going to go for it again. They flash another. He manages to make it up top this time, destroy the camera, and they've got a lot of space gained. The A side is completely theirs. And if anybody tries to peek out of heaven, well, they're going to run right into Zipan, which is not really what you want to do.
Already, almost a full retake coming into effect here for the side of Vitality. These are the positions that FPX seem their strongest. The after plant ready. They have the lurk around as well from Shadow to try and garner extra control. It does seem like they know he's there. He's been pinged on the map, and actually Vac's gonna jump straight in. The showstopper picks off one, and the trade's actually going in favor of Vitality, at least for the moment. It's left down to Angel, and it's the quad kill. He may be almost hamstringed a little bit playing that Astra, but it seems like it doesn't affect him much.
Anybody questioning why Angel plays Reyna anymore? Or why he did it that one time? Go ahead. Yeah, that was pretty unbelievable, the 4K from backside. I do love this. Vac fires, and he's like, he's dead. I'm not even going to worry about it. It's the confidence there.
The no-look.
Exactly. Yeah, not even gonna look at you as you die. You know, cool guys don't look at explosions, but also that weapon switch from Loki, I actually think it was kind of smart. He dropped down, he was very low on ammo, and he swaps to a weapon that can one-shot headshot on range. Just the timing. Angel peeks out. He's such a confident guy, and in that fight, it paid off tenfold. 2-2 tied up as Vitality now play with pistols, and I think when you're Vitality at this point, you can afford to play a little bit more aggressive. You can try to get in their face and upset them. But in the early round, that hasn't worked out. Looks like B main's going to be attempted as well.
Oh, this is the paranoia push. Oh, from center. See you later, Xiao. But you do have at least Angel looking to try and pick up the pieces. Maybe trying to clear some of these aggressive spots around B main, but they've already retreated. They didn't get any of the weaponry, unfortunately. A little bit too deep from Xiao to do anything about it. Okay, Jesmond as well. Maybe we've got a few new heroes coming in for the Sheriff.
It could be. I said I've known Jesmond a little bit, been keeping track of him certainly since beta. I think he used to play, if it is the same Jesmond, he used to play back in Battalion as well, and back in COD, and you're seeing he's got that skill, that's for damn sure. FPX struggling now with a man disadvantage. They've got weaponry, but pushing out onto any side is pretty tough at this point. 3 stars, about to come back online for Angel. He can put them wherever he wants, but he's going to take the fight straight away. Now the stars go down, blocking out the backside. Flash comes in, but it doesn't blind Sender, and he almost gets more. That Bucky not quite quick enough. Eventually falling and leaving it all onto Jesmond. Poor old Jesmond, walking out to sight. Shot not connecting. 10 seconds left. They've got to go for that spike plant. He makes it out of the cage, but he makes a little bit of noise as he does so. The plant goes down. The shot is good, but only for 1. And another 4K from Angel, back-to-back, closing out rounds by himself.
Yeah, he gets stunned by the Nova Pulse, but it actually does very well. And in isolation, that round from Vitality is fantastic. It's taken multiple 4Ks out from Angel to just get these rounds over the line. The thing is, though, these are the sort of rounds that you almost feel like if Vitality are going to be able to battle versus FPX, you want to see them stealing. You want to put the pressure onto FPX. Instead, they'll breathe a sigh of relief once the round is done, but ultimately, they've still taken it.
Pulling them in.
Start of this round sees mid-aggression again be a fairly important feature. I do like the early usage of some of these pulls. I think they just make you give up a lot of control, because when you know that there's, for example, a raise grenade that could come around the corner at any moment, it's very threatening to stay inside or stay near one of those. You can be taking splash damage, or even worse, the timing for Sender! He gets it off in time, no one taking him down, another smoke in play, but they haven't managed to stop them on the push out. These players are already on site, and Sender's forced to teleport out of there. Shadow step in towards the spawn. Dimisic good for 1. Here's the reload and gets a second. Oh my god. How did he get away with that? The heal even going to come in, and he's back to full health.
That's CISA. It's never going to go anywhere. Such ridiculous individual skill on this FPX roster, and I think the rest just have to save. Like pulling off this retake now, especially with the amount of control that was garnered from FPX. Like, you're slowly watching Zipan just go, oh, don't worry, guys, I've got ropes. Like, there's no way you make it through this round. More importantly as well, you got Brams on the operator. And, well, we've spoken already about the price of this weapon. It's something that can completely hamstring your economy. It can destroy you from the inside if you're constantly having to try and repurchase this or save cash to be able to buy it. And you want Brams to have a gun at all times. This is someone who can definitely take over the map. So, for now, there will be a 4th on the board. FPX again, they've been one of the best teams on this map, and I feel like it's more down to their attacking side, Mitch. I feel like we've seen a lot of strong defensive sides on Split from the beta all the way to now, but having a good attack, that's more of a nuance.
You know what, Tom? Let me be frank for a second. Or I'm Frank, sorry. That push from Dimisic, it's like, most of the time that doesn't work, because down to even timing, you heard the shadow step back into spawn, you know the rotates are underway, and your decision to walk through the smoke, it's a head scratcher. It's not one that you expect, but it works so well just because of that. Because why would they don't expect, you've got the sight, you haven't, there's no man advantages, you don't have to play aggressive, and Dimisic's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like, did they just pull him off rafters? Did that just pull him off the rafters? I think it did. Either that or he decided to drop and back off to spawn, which is possible. I don't know. We need to see it from sight. But if that's a black hole to pull people off rafters, I'm blown away.
Well, they're looking again to try and play this retake. They've invested fully into this round, but utility-wise, there's not a whole lot. Nice work from Sender, though. He's going to be able to reclaim B main, and it seems like Zipan's caught sleeping, not looking in the right direction. Already, this retake starts off strong. The paint shell's thrown into the corner, also with a boom bot. They know there's players there, but they bypass Angel, and he's going to spray down 2 players. Again, the impact of this man is unmatched by anyone. What is this from Shadow? Was that a flex? Like, you can't even hit me, you're so blind.
He had his knife out. I think he might have hit it by accident as he was pressing the button to flash. So he flashed, and it just switches to your last weapon. He's like, wait, 'cause he was aiming right at him. Like, why isn't it shooting?
Pew 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 pew. Oh wait,
I have lasers in my eyes. Like, that was so weird. Gave me a little heart attack. Oh man, Tom. Well, that was 5-2 now. FPX, they're just dominating. And Angel, I don't know how this guy finds so much space. You know, we spin the narrative at the start that, oh yeah, you know, when you're playing Astra, probably in the early rounds, you're a little bit more passive. And it's the same thing we used to say about Brimstone, right? Most players will probably do that. But Angel? Nah, dude. He's the entry frag in Brimstone. And he's making it work on Astra as well. I love it.
I think as well, we can almost put down 3-round victories to him alone.
Yep.
Like, there's 2 quad kills. That was now a triple kill. And the 2 impact kills as they get back into the site. Without him, I would say they lose it. So, yeah, leading by example is a phrase we use a lot when talking about Angel. But the fact is he's just cracked at this stage. Like, it doesn't seem like anyone can do anything to match up to him at this point. And, well, this round at least. Sheriffs once again. Probably the closest round they had was based off the Sheriff coming out, Jesmond doing a lot, and Zipan sneaking his way into ropes. I feel like he's almost taken more of the role that we saw from Angel previously of just garnering that control, being allowed to play the lurk a little bit more, but Vac does well. There goes Shadow. Again, the proactive response working, and the timing might be perfect for Jesmond.
Oh, wow. The timing, the shots as well, at least for the first, and damage done to Angel. This could help Vac out a lot, or maybe even Brahms. No, he's whiffed and he's out of there. No presence towards B Heaven, so they rotate to A. But that's exactly what FPX have done. Oh no, Dimisic. How many players caught with knives and utility out, but punishments seem to be few and far between. Angel spots out a player on backside, gives his life for that info. Shot not hit by Sander. Oh no, they were blinded up. Luckily, Loki's getting it done, and with Dimisic left alive in a 1v3, it was done and dusted. Vitality, they've made it happen, even with the weaker weapons. I have to say though, Tom, kind of upset. I thought my Frank joke would make you laugh more. I'll get more of a laugh out of you, but all right, it's cool. I worked on that for hours.
Well, you know, it is offensive to my people, the fellow Franks out there in the world, living probably, but the English accent you did as well.
Your name
like, yeah.
Frank? Like what? Why are Franks your people? Oh, really? Is it?
No.
Yeah, no. So you're a liar. That would have been so beautiful if it was, but god damn it.
No, unfortunately for you, it's James. Maybe I'll add an extra one and I'll go legally change it to Frank just to please you. But
please do.
I'm probably not going to go and do that. More importantly, though, purchases in. We've got a showstopper for Zipan, which is always a scary prospect, but the operator once again for Brahms hasn't had too much impact just yet. It feels like he's been in the wrong place at the wrong time, but this time, Angel is gone. And while we talk about the early aggression potentially being a hindrance, and this time that's pretty much all of their smoke's gone.
Oh, Loki. Oh, that's aggressive, but it catches them off guard. That's exactly what they needed. A 4 versus 2 spike down. And Vitality, they're sitting pretty. Great opening start from Loki. Zipan, gotta do a few more laps to fit through there.
They want to make sure this one is kept nice and clean, though. They've got themselves the advantages. They won themselves that sort of cheesy pistol, flashy round we wanted to see from Vitality. But now the conversions need to be one that keep this operator in play and maybe build up a few ultimate orbs, because we know for a fact that FPX will always come back stronger. And the fact is, Mitch, 5 rounds already on the attack is not bad for them whatsoever. We are looking at the space they've garnered. 30 seconds left on the clock. They do look to try and wrap back in, but the fact is there's already being held by Brahms. He's ready, waiting, watching with the operator, but he will not connect the shot.
Time is so low at this point, but another shot missed. They're on site, and they're not good for the plant. It's been dropped in the open. This should be the round done, and it is. Jesmond in with the double from above. And again, contributing a lot of that success to Loki's push. Completely caught FPX off guard. 5-4. Vitality come back up on the defensive side. This is looking pretty good in the early stages.
Spike down.
Yeah, I'm liking the way that again, as said earlier, like they're not veering away from a lot of these earlier battles, even though they know that there's likely these sort of standard default coming out from FPX. They like to hold a lot of the ground and try and deny space from their opposition. But we saw it with Brams. Like, okay, we know that you like to play mid. I'm not afraid to fight you on it. Now this round, he's going to have a slightly different angle facing into B main. But look at the pace of Zipan. Loki barely even got to pull out any of his utility before his head's already been ripped off.
It's as quick as you like it. And Loki making space in the previous round, he obviously thought, hey, I can do it again, right? Try to reclaim a bit of mid control. Nope. Not a chance. Peeks out, head gone. Vitality. They're geared up now for just one man on each part of the map. It's a fairly spread out defense. They're going to have to stack up and get a bit of information in just a little bit. And I thought that was the nade from Vac, the way he was moving on the mini-map, but no, he's just holding here waiting for something to happen. Can't really get the nade out from there. There's so much utility keeping him back, and it comes in too late. Already players on the side, and Brams again! The shot not going to connect. Zipan makes it down below the site, and there will be an easy plant on that site. This is a tough retake for Vitality with 2 players missing, and Zipan with the op in hand now.
He's been slowly upgrading as the round goes on. Spectre to start, Vandal, and then even dropping that Reaver Vandal, Mitch, in case you're wondering, to pick up the Operator. Now he's going to be holding the angle, and there is just no space. He's been let off the leash in this round, and finally, Jesman will put him in his tomb. A peek come out from Xiao, but now it's left onto Vac. We've yet to see this star pop off just yet. We know he has it in him, but this would have to be incredible, and Demasik is just not missing. And I'll be honest, Mitch, I genuinely feel like there were rounds still where Angel just says zip and go kill. Because in this one, he just blasts pack straight down mid and just takes the round into his hands all on his own.
Oh yeah, 100%. And when you look realistically at Zipan, it's not surprising that those calls are going to be made. Like, I don't know if it's so much people telling him. I think it's him just feeling the space, you know? When you watch him play, you can tell sometimes he knows better what the opponents are doing better than they do at times. It's so fun to watch. The Vitality, they're going in for that Operator. Never mind. Is that a replay?
Yeah, I think that might have been. The aggressive peak was a little bit of a bait. They do still have the Operator in onto Brams.
No, that was a replay. I don't know what reality we're in right now. Are we in replays, or this is the game live?
Yes.
So they did go for the Operator and a peak. Okay, cool. I feel like I'm... What's the Umbrella Academy? I feel like I'm in that TV show. If anyone's seen it, it's great. It's amazing.
I have. It is good.
Yeah.
Well, for the attack in this round again, we see them go for this slower default. Ropes is a position that we always expect FPX to take. That's why a lot of teams will put their trips around that angle. Demasik breaking the cam might actually be more bait than anything else, because if you look at the rest of the team, they're still lurking out, potentially with a hit towards B, but I like the reaction from Vitality. They've taken deep B control. This gives them so much information, but the flashes into heaven, even the fake utility being thrown out, might be enough to pull them, but look at their setup. They're ready and waiting here. Brams, and it's Vac! He's gonna get 2 with the showstopper. That's the spike down and only 20 seconds to play with. It leaves just Demasik, a 1v5, and little to no hope.
Yeah, 4 kills left to go, the full ace clutch, and it's not looking too likely with 10 seconds left on the clock. That op now holding him down, and I think, Brams is not having a good game right now, I gotta say. Like, he is getting swung one-tapped by players, missing the op shots. Oh, man. It's, I feel for him, man. I feel for him.
I do wonder if you ever feel the pressure, if your Brams just like, well, I know Vac's behind me, and I know that he's a pretty damn good operator, but it's just like, it's sort of like, I remember back in the day, it would be like Happy taking the AWP off of Kenny S, and you're just sat there like, why is this happening?
Why have you done that?
Kenny's just like, you know I'm better than you. Just like whispering in his ear. I'm sure that's not the case. In fact, I know that's not the case. I spoke to Vac. He actually, I don't think he minds the change at all. It gives him a chance to be more aggressive in his plays, take more risks, which, seeing how Brams is playing, that's a lot of risk. But Brams is yet to really find a whole lot with the Operator. Definitely had a couple of good rounds, a couple more aggressive peaks working out for them. But this is where the game changes. FPX are fast pushing to B.
That they are. Oh no! Sender, he's on top of the box and it still gets him, man. Boombots can be so annoying at times. You think you're safe. You really do. But no, it finds you. It finds you. Well, Sanders learned that lesson the hard way, losing a lot of his health, but he got the advantages for his team in the first place. FPX wanted a hard push, and instead they've lost 2 players and gotten basically no map control. Sender gets healed fully back up. Well, most of the way, 92, close as you want. Shadow Res, they're going to full commit to this round. They're going in for it already. They're locked out as they go to move up close. Sender seems to be losing some of his hearing as he steps very close to that wall. But he's in trouble. If they take Heaven here and manage to split up behind, that could be perfect, but it all hinges on Angel being able to get that control. He loves going into ropes, but the read was there. Loki was ready for it, and Jesmond, oh, what a shutdown. All 4 going his way, just spraying, praying, and they all line up.
Yeah, his utility in general this round was spot on. The cages to deny them initially, the cam to make sure that if they tried to go behind the divide and sneak their way into the site, he still had all the information that was necessary to him. Perfectly played from the Cypher. But now they go moving into the attack. And this is where a lot of teams crumble. Having, as said, a decent defense on split, it's not the hardest thing in the world. Maybe for you or I, but for top teams, you'd expect that. Going into the attacking side, I think is going to be difficult, but at the same time, they do have a couple of duelists that can open up rounds. You've got that Jet, you have the Raze as well. The burst potential of this Vitality roster is huge, and I actually think that might be why we're seeing the Omen give you that chance to pick up the pace.
As we start out this pistol round, I gotta say, this is a quicker pace than I expected from Vitality. Look, they're already in spawn, and I think Dimisic was slightly caught off guard by that. Moving in towards Ven's Shadow down below the rope. He's got a teammate with him, and Loki decides to back off. It's the right call. The wall already used up, and eventually it's going to be broken. Just buys them that little bit of extra time. Loki flashed. Teammate there to trade it out, but Center doesn't get it. 3 players on the ramp. It's all a big bait, and Shadow's fallen for it. He's in the corner. He should be dead, but he gets out alive. This is insane. Shao is still alive. He has his heal as well. He's just going to heal him back up. Or presumably, no, he's stuck up in heaven. Doesn't look like that's possible anymore. The push out the site. Right clicks from Sander jumping. Don't land all too much, but Jesmond, he's a hope on the site. He's keeping them alive, leaving Angel to do it all by himself, and as he crunches in towards that spike, Loki quickly peeks and deals with him. Just 20 HP. It's so easy. Just one of those bullets from the classic. We'll do the dirty, do the job. 7-6. Vitality win the pistol.
Yeah, a fairly unorthodox afterplant from them as well. There was a lot of reliance on Jasmine, and I respect the fact that they're willing to do that. Just leave him solo site. Everybody else, your job is hold on to the ramp. Don't allow them to wrap around, and he just basically has to try and stay alive around the elbow, and he does just that. So they take themselves to pistol, a very fast-paced start to the attack, and I wonder if that's something that will continue, because again, the burst potential of their current comp is huge. And while Angel, he's about to come under some serious pressure, still takes Loki with him. No heals to be had in this round, but the site already belongs to the attack. And in fact, again, so does the spawn.
Yeah, Bram's up behind them, ready to take some fights. With the weapons they're up against here, you shouldn't be losing too many players, but already Sender goes down. Bram's on the flank is in a little bit of danger. They're making a lot of steps, but the flash in the open Shadow there to support his teammates. And luckily his teammates kept him alive because he was about to be killed with a flash in his hands. 2-man advantage. Great shot by Browns, but look at his HP. He's dead. He's 9 HP. I mean, they're just going to completely overwhelm him. Zipan eventually connecting, and it's closed. That's a massive reverse sweep by FPX to pull that round off and tie it up 7-7. The pistol negated.
Yeah, that was a non-investment round as well. That was them just putting in a few pistols here and there, maybe a little bit of utility. But they didn't buy any SMGs, any Spectres, any shotguns, nothing. That was them basically saving. And I feel like Vitality have almost shot themselves in the foot. Now, in the pistol round, I like the aggressive stance. I like the wraparound. I like that you're willing to take that much control. But when you have the advantage with weaponry, when you have the range advantage versus most of these players, to get up in their face, like, realistically, should we be seeing a classic kill coming out from Shadow? Probably not. And the only reason that happens is because they try and reclaim heaven.
Down goes a lot of utility in the early round. They both concussed and smoked and slowed for that orb. It's very, very heavy commitment in the early round, and Xiao just got baited so hard by that dashback. Zipan's... Sender going into mid there and walking into a smoke, I'm not sure is maybe the best idea. Oh my, Vitality. They're making some questionable decisions here. 3 players dying without a single trade and doing things that, I mean, necessity wasn't necessarily pushing them to do. I understand Vac was about to get the showstopper, I think. That's why he commits to it, but...
Look at Angel. This is everything. He could get the spike. Look at the position he's taken. If the man goes up the rope, he's basically won this round. It's over. Like, there should be no way that they're going to be expecting him here. And, it's just genius from Angel to take that control, knowing that Brams has taken over the site already. And now, well, with the spike under his control, the rest of the team can slowly start to rotate in, surround this man, and he doesn't even need it. Again, think about the amount of rounds that this man has won for FPX almost solely on his own, and it will be the same once again. He's currently 18-9.
Astra's going to be a more passive agent, not for taking fights. But this is what Angel always does. You know, we said the same thing about Brimstone for a long time in the early stages of Valorant. We were like, oh yeah, if you're playing as a Brim, you don't want to go in first on the attacking side. And then, well, the Angel took that and ripped it to shreds. But this is what we're saying, you know, even down to all the different agents you play and how you play them, there's so many different things you can do. 30 agents. Imagine. Things are going to be crazy. I love it, though. I love it. Vitality want to move towards the B side here, and there's a lot of players up in heaven, but it doesn't seem to bother them. Brams, quick to get one, steps in front of the flash, but now... Okay. Vac is 60 HP. He was vulnerable. He was being sucked into the one spot, but he hits the shot so quickly on the pre-fires they ran out into the open that the side is now theirs. I mean, that kill alone has increased their chances of winning this round by a huge amount. They get the site, they get the plant. Now they just gotta wait.
Well divided.
Oh. We are going to see the Cosmic Divide thrown in. Low-key in a pretty good position, though. Clearing him's not going to be easy. I say that. Demasic just walks through. And that's already one man gone. They're all trapped out from the site as well. They're going to have to try and make a play through. This is Diffuse already coming in, but there's a showstopper. It might be able to stop bullets, but rockets will fly straight through. And now it's left onto Demasic. The second comes up for him. He's looking to try and ace this round, but the time is ticking away. He will find all of the kills, but there's just no time. It's a round for Vitality, but a round as well for Demasic.
Yeah, I'm glad he's got a fan as a knife because he needs to cool off after that one. That was unbelievable. And to not win the round after that kind of performance, at least it's some kind of morale boost for you. So much went Vitality's way in the early round and in the late, and one man just stood in their way. He said no. They couldn't enforce it, but what a beautiful, beautiful attempted clutch. Now, we move to 8-8, tied up on map number 1. And for Vitality, I feel like you feel like you got away with something there, right? A couple of mistakes made. Overall, the people with a smile on their face after that round will be FPX, but at the end of the day, you've tied it up. Now they've got to do a little bit more with it. They've survived the attacking side of FPX, and in the early stages of this round, look how passive they are being, hoping that there's going to be some form of movement from that defensive side, that someone's going to overpeak and give them the opportunity. They're being cautious because they know just how important this round can be.
There.
Well, yeah, I think as well, they're starting to become skeptical of the amount of contact plays that are coming in from Vitality. They have been more than willing to just walk into positions and try and take a brawl. And that's where Brams and Vac thrive. That's where those two players pull out some of their best work, is on this pure entry fragging front. Well, speaking of Brams, the Blade Storm invested. Slowly makes his way up mid. It's taken them a long time, though. Think about how fast we were seeing FPX garner this position in the previous half. Well, there's only 35 seconds left for them to make their move.
30 seconds
Make their
left.
move they shall, but as you said, the clock is definitely against them. Jesmine able to find that opening, the dash into sight. Brams hoping to find someone with the knives, and this is dangerous now. They've given away their position. But he's just going to continue on forward, look for the guy on site. Shadow, he's being hunted from every single angle. And with 12 seconds left, it looks like they're going to get this done. The teleport across the site, a safe plant, and the round is just about going Vitality's way. The clock almost their biggest enemy. I mean, if that spike got dropped along the way, it was over and done for. I like the nade and the pull and back sight, but it's not going to get anything. It clears it out at least, or under heaven, I should say. Clears it out. Angel's blind. Vac wants to try and get something done from that corner. He has Sender watching his left with Loki, and they are locking it down together. Brams even comes in for a little bit of an assist. Doesn't get a single kill with his knives, but hey, he doesn't need it.
Yeah, he took a lot of space. I think some of the time, even just being a distraction as a Jet is enough. Like, if you become the focal point with all the sounds you're making, a lot of the time the rest of your team can garner that space. I also want to mention as well, again, like, Vitality's afterplant previously, we mentioned how they were heavy on ramp and made sure that they kept that control. Completely different this time. A setup that I don't think FPX are ready for as they peek into a 3-man crossfire on the site and another retained elsewhere. I like it. They're being dynamic. They're not easy to read either. And by the looks of it, FPX are actually struggling a little bit.
Oh, the pressure is definitely being applied. If anything, I think this is the strongest face of Vitality that we've seen in a long, long time. And questions around these new players and around how the roster would work being answered. Oh, Vac, he almost had it. If he swung, there's a player with his back turned. That could have easily been a kill. The reactive nade to keep them out just in case they're pushing off the info they had. But they're not. It's a much more passive approach from FPX. And I think the wind may be taken out of their sails a little bit in those early engagements. They don't want to play as aggressively because it hasn't been paying off. Although at the same time, I would say that their early aggression has been absent in general in the rounds that they're losing. Maybe it's a change, we'll see.
They also have 4 ults in this round, so I think for any sort of retake, you're going to be set up. Like, you don't really need to take too many risks. And we're going to see the TP into the back of site, which will give quite a bit of information. Vac straight through the cage, and it's realized by Demastic, there's no way I'm winning this. Just fall back, play for the afterplant. We have everything we need to try and pull this one off, but Jesmond lurking in from behind. Showstopper gone at least, but Angel will trade. And actually, Demastic's going to continue this push forward. They haven't checked for the second man, though. Loki going to go for the risky res, but he pulls it off nonetheless. And Angel, once again, is trying to cling to life. It's left all onto Shao. He actually has a res of his own. 10 seconds, they'll get the plant down, but it turns to a 2v2.
The res is perfect. The showstopper coming in, but no angle found, and Brams spotted. At least it's information. Shao, he's made it the Shao show before. The dash saves the life of Brams as Vac sits towards B main. The defuse being half stuck. He gets it there. Shao pulls out the gun, ready for one, and hoping to bait the second out. Now sticking it all the way, comes off, and Shao, he gets it done. FPX, they were down and out of that round, but the Shao show returns 9-9.
It's truly amazing what this man can do on a consistent basis. It's not been his day so far. In fact, pretty much coming close to doubling his kills in this round alone, but we know the impact that Shao can have. And, well, we know previously, if you look back to his, like, old roster, I suppose, he was in the same sort of role as we see Zipan, like the aggressor, the first man in, a battle for basically the early round. Instead, now, you see him mostly on a Sova and a Sage, but he's still going to pull out those clutches when needed.
The wall again used. Brams maybe wants to updraft on top of it, but this setup is exactly to counter that, and there you go. Angel ready to take it. You know, I love that setup. It's something that we said just the other day, Tom, when we were commentating, that we saw 2 players down below, and that's where you're very vulnerable to the updraft play because they can get on the wall, set themselves up. But FPX, they don't make that mistake. A 5v3 now, and it's weaker weapons for Vitality. Again, any sort of engagement they take, unless they've got big numbers advantages, they are going to lose most of the time, and that's exactly what we've seen happen here. Even on head peak angles, you know, you get one shot by a Vandal on that range, not even a Phantom will do it.
Oh, a star placed beside them and a nebula forms from it. There's always the worry when that goes down that you're about to be attacked, but they're patient. Zhao just left to slow them, and it's the setup. I'm starting to lose count how many quad kills this actually is for Angel at this point. I think it's 3 plus a few 3Ks as well. He has 25 kills, Mitch. Is it safe to say this is the best statistical performance we've ever seen from an Astra?
No. I've played some ranked on it. Yeah, this is unbelievable. I mean, especially versus Vitality. I have said many times in past broadcasts, Tom, oh, this team beat Vitality. That means nothing. You know, I always got tricked into thinking, oh, it's Vitality, and then I remembered that's might as well be a random name. But then this roster, I've got respect for. I think this is a bunch of good players. Sure, Loki and Jessamine, as I said, I need to see more of them before I really make a decision. But I'm loving what we're seeing in this game. It's not an easy one to step up the way Angel had. He has had back-to-back 4Ks to secure 2 rounds, and then ended up in 1vx situations in those 4K rounds. I mean, they are losing. They've probably lost the map by now if he isn't playing as he is. I love this counter wall strat. It's absolutely beautiful, but it doesn't work. Not versus Xiao. A triple kill as he sits up atop his own wall. Oh, no. Sender. He's trying to make something work, pushing out to the side, but man, he's going to need to be huge, and it's not happening for him. Loki all alone. No res to bring a teammate back into this. Jeez, Xiao, come on, man. We talked about he's having a slow game. He had 4 kills coming into round like 19 or 18, and now he's right up there on 9.
That's the nastiest surprise ever, because you think you've got them at this point. You're like, yep, we'll go over the top. They even pop a showstopper with an attempt to try and get the entry, and instead you just have Xiao probably just giggling to himself after that one. And an easy triple for him as they all line up. And for Vitality, the problem is now that was a relatively high investment round. Like, you look at what's currently in, you've got Spectres at best, and Dima 6 already going to hear a lot of utility being popped outside that B site, falling back into quite a passive stance here, waiting for his teammates to be able to rotate in. And still, again, the amount of deep control that Xiao's been able to take, they can be comfortable that there's not going to be a pacey push now into A.
Brahms is again going to be the one with these knives that we see pushing up through middle. He has support just to block off those angles from the Cypher. Those stars, they're always annoying. The stun, it activates so quickly, but they still manage to avoid it. Zipan getting up into heaven, has to be worried, but Angel, well, he is just cleaning up that B main push. Or mid push, excuse me. That's, yeah, good night. See, the whole thing there is that it has to be Brahms that gets an opening, and instead, and not faulting him specifically, because he moves into heaven, he's looking for engagements, he's trying to take space, but it's Angel coming out in mid that catches myself and indeed the entirety of Vitality off guard, destroying his support. He has to turn back and fight mid because Angel's just torn them to shreds there. Then his teammates in B main are like, oh, we've got no support anymore. It was really well handled by FPX.
I still remember the sort of the thought in my mind of whether or not, like, the change, getting rid of Meadow, bringing in Demasik. I was like, really? That seems like a risky play. Nah, Angel's right again, as usual. Demasik is just slamming them just as hard. I almost feel like whose crosshair do they walk into is going to be the one to get the kills. Angel, this is just not an angle you're going to expect. And that's number 30, Mitch. He got the 30 bomb in this map. And instantly looks to reposition for Vitality. You just want to try and avoid this man. He's everywhere. A second insta headshot. Now Zipan joins the show. And they finally get rid of him. But now they're being countered by utility. They're stuck in the mud. Well, I think this might be the end. We need a hell of a clutch to turn this around.
Yeah, it's got to be big, but hey, Vac is the boy you want in these kind of situations. But he's dealt with. Great flash coming in. Shadow getting his money's worth out of that, and another one pushes Loki off the angle. He still capitalizes. He gets a res out of it as well. Oh, but here comes Daddy Angel, a 3K in this round already, and he's looking to end the run right here and now. Close split out. A res comes in from the defensive side, and Angel's on his way up behind. Bram still to deal with him. 45 HP. Risky time to put down stars, and he's spotted and taken out. Spike retrieved. Bram's on his way towards the A site. He's got time to get there. Sure, there's going to be a little bit of utility in his way. It's not even going to slow him down. The dash does the job, and out to site he goes. 16 seconds. No time to mess around. That plant has to come in now before they get even closer. But with 45 health, it's going to be a tough one, man. They're just going to play this together and look to trade one or two bullets, and it's over and done with. And he swings into heavy traffic, sees one, and presumes the second is there as well. So much time to play with for FPX. They can run this clock all the way in Shadow. He closes it out. What a game. What a map. FPX 13-9. An astronomical performance coming out from Angel.
Yeah, and he was one of the difference makers. Him and Demasik having a phenomenal performance. Definitely some quieter players, at least in the early rounds, like Xiao, not quite having the performance we expect. And I want to give some props over to Vitality, because they're coming up against one of the teams that we somewhat consider to be maybe even the best team in the whole of Europe. So the fact that they've gone into this and given them a run for their money, taking it close in the majority of these rounds, and showing some of the class and caliber that they have, I'm not too worried about the future of this team. For now, though, they're going to have to head into Haven, and that's going to be just as tough as this one.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, especially if Angel's playing the way that he is. I mean, some people say the sky's the limit, but he was shooting for the stars right there. It's time to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that map and preview Haven, map number 2 in this series. We'll see you soon.
Shut to death last night. Now you're lying in my bed. Must have been a dream last night, but I can hear what you're saying. You were shot to death last night. Where's my cup of coffee? I was dreaming something bad last night. Can't you hear what I'm saying? One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you. To look at you, to look at you. 2 gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you. We're not with you, we're not with you. You were shot to death last night, and I thought of someone else. Didn't care about your life last night, at least less than about his. All our dreams were shot to death last night. I see the clock stand still. Nightmares at your heart sometimes, but this is unbelievable. One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. 2 gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you. We're not with you, we're not with you. We're not with you, we're not with you.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Valorant Challengers EU, where FPX are currently 1 map up against Team Vitality. I'm Yingsu, and I'm joined by your casters back on the analyst desk, Tom and Mitch. Guys, we have to talk about the obvious thing, which is the Angel diff, the Angel buff. I just read a tweet that Doombros, the analyst, put out saying 1 kill for every year he's been alive on this planet. Makes sense, you know, this guy is doing it, and Tom, he's the IGL here. He's playing Astra, and he's top fragging. What can you do in that situation against a team like FPX with Angel at the helm?
The problem is it's not even just that he's getting a lot of kills, because I think that there's maps where you might have like almost like freak accidents or just good timing. It's the manner in which he does it. Like, I think even one of the penultimate rounds that we saw from him, he goes aggressively peeking one angle, then rotates all the way back round to A ramp, hits another instant headshot, and then goes back through to mid again just to finish it off like that. Lads, don't worry, I got this one. You can do something in the next map. And that's just terrifying, because it's like he's a rotational IGL who's also a controller. It's like he's just trying to put everything into one neat little package, which is himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, we talk about game sense, we talk about aim, we talk about mechanics and everything, and Angel has consistently been doing all three. But Mitch, I saw you interact with Scream as well just now in the break, and he tweeted about Shao and his impacts. So talk me through, you know, Shao and also some of the other players on FPX as well, because it wasn't just the Angel show this.
Yeah, I love when people like Scream with a big platform make that point that we always like to say, which is that it doesn't matter if you got 4 kills, who cares? Yeah, that doesn't show your contribution to the game, and it's so easy to turn around and just look at scoreboards and read the bottom and go, he's the reason they lost. But that's scoreboard analysis. That's pointless. When you look at how Shao was playing, it wasn't amazing, but he was doing his job, okay, like chipping away at the rounds, and then he gets the opportunities, and oh boy, did he capitalize on them. Within 3 minutes, he ended up in one round where he 1v2'd in a next to impossible situation. He used his res, his decision making was perfect to bring them back into the game. He gets down, his teammate finds the information, he executes off it, wins the round. Then the very next round, sits on top of his wall, gets a 3k as they look, or 2 rounds later, sorry, as they go to push out. 3k straight away, shuts down a showstopper. That could have been the round lost and a game going to OT or the other way if he wasn't able to step it up at the end. Angel, as you said, 1 kill for every year. It's actually even more. He's 31 years old. He got 32 kills on Astra. And I want to say that affects the way he plays the game. I always talked about him. I said, if you're playing split, Angel invents. It's going to happen. He loves it. On the attack side, he always goes in events, takes that control. But he can't play it the same way when he's not an Omen. When you don't have that versatility to move at the same time as you're putting down your smokes, you're very much out of the game, and he's able to do it now on Astra, playing much more passive mid control, still make the lurks work, still come up behind them and control middle in the same way. I love FPX. They're such a good team.
Yeah, I mean, Angel's younger than Hypoc. Can I just throw that one out there?
Why have you done that?
Oh, yes.
I had to, because I'm the boomer on this desk. This is with you two. I'm the boomer, and I miss the days, of having a Lothar, of having Hypoc, where I can not be the boomer for once. But I'm really sorry, Hypoc, for that. But just, with FPX, I think Mitch, you nailed it on the head. You cannot give them opportunities because they will take opportunities. If you're going to line up, they're going to get a 3k, and at times, even when they're not supposed to win those rounds, they've got Angel, they've got Shao, they've got Demasik. That entire team is fantastic. But Tom, on the team vitality side, we didn't have our expectations too high going into this, but they looked great. They are a contender right now because they managed to do this against one of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, one of the best teams in Europe, one of the best split teams potentially in the whole world. I think that was a very good performance for them. And if we're talking about Shao getting this 1v2, there was a round as well where Angel manages to sneak his way into a corner and spray down. I think it was a double kill to finish with a third. If we're talking about clutch plays and big performances, that means you push them to the limit. We're not talking about 13-5, they blew them out of the water, a lot of the rounds weren't close, it was a pistol that gave them any rounds. No, we're talking about the fact that FPX had to get into these clutch situations because Vitality were doing very well in the early rounds. Even when it came down to pistols, you have players like Jesmond, who again is someone that, at least within the top of Valorant, we haven't seen too much from. He thrived. He looked very good. So overall, I'm impressed. And I think that a lot of teams going forward will have to worry about this team. And even into Haven, FPX can't take their foot off the gas. Otherwise, they could see themselves losing that map.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mitch even. Mitch, what did you make of the new additions there, with Loki and Jesmond?
I think they did fantastic. We're obviously on a delay, so you just saw me do the thing now. I think they did an amazing job here. I said going into it, Loki, Jesmond, they're new guys. I think I kind of whiffed my point at the very start because we rushed through, but I don't mean to criticize them very heavily, but I know that Sander, Brahms, Vac, these guys are proven throughout the game. When I look at Loki, when I look at Jesmond, not quite to the same extent. Coming into this roster, the way they played right there, fantastic. Really enjoyed watching them. I think, as I said during the cast, this is the best Vitality that we have seen to date. And them going out now, it doesn't mean anything. If they lose to FPX, well, you lost to probably the best team in Europe. Okay, what do you expect? It's unlucky for them getting this matchup, but moving forward, I'm happy with what we've seen. I hope we get more of the same.
Well, speaking of, moving forward, we do have Haven coming up next. It's not all done yet. I know on paper, of course, FPX are still very much the favorites here. But moving on to Haven, Tom, what are your expectations here? Because looking at the team compositions in the qualifiers, FPX are going a little bit funky with this one.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are, I guess, turning up the heat is an awful pun to use, but we're seeing Phoenix come out a lot more when it comes to Haven. And we saw it earlier in the first map, Opportunist using it to almost counter a lot of the Astra plays. And I think in this case, Angel's likely to bring it in once again, but the same can be said for Vac. And I think, if he's going to be going for those more aggressive entry fragging sort of peaks, I think that Phoenix is just going to be something he thrives upon. So I'm hoping we get that Phoenix versus Phoenix. What I will say, though, is if we don't see the Astra come out for Vitality, I do wonder if maybe Angel will opt to change things up a little bit to just try and counter what they're currently running.
Well, Mitch, they've already succeeded so much on Split with Angel on the Astra. Obviously, Shadow is a very, very different player. So do you feel like maybe we're going to see a slightly different FPX as well if it is they're staying true to what they've been playing in the open qualifiers and moving Shadow onto the Astra and having Angel play Phoenix?
I don't think so. Obviously, but look, obviously they're gonna work differently in terms of like you've different players with different tendencies and different roles, but it's also a very different map. And the way Shadow played, and I don't think his praises will be sung enough. And this has been a trend for the entirety of the FBX roster, more or less, going back to Fabrican even. Shadow's unbelievable as a supportive player. Like you look at the flashes that he was using, and we highlighted them a bit when we got to see them in the last couple of rounds of Split. He's a very, very strong supportive player. I think when you give him an Astra, he stands to do pretty much the same. It's not quite as easy because it's not point and click in the same way the flashes are. There's a bit of forethought behind it, but I think an Astra will suit his playstyle very, very well.
Well, I mean, just on Shadow, maybe that's just me noticing it, but has he changed his crosshair? Because I do remember his crosshair being a little bit left field. But Bram's crosshair, I've seen that twice now. I think someone else was also running the Bram's crosshair yesterday. Yes, was it XMS? Okay, that makes sense. But we are going to head into Agent Select now, onto Haven. This could be the decider, or, you know, this could be the start of a combat as we saw earlier from Opportunist versus Team Heretics. As you guys can see, Agent Select is with you guys on screen, and Angel is not teasing us. He went straight for the Phoenix, Tom, as we kind of expected, and Shadow on the Astra.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like mind-blowing from what we saw coming out of the qualifiers. Obviously, if you were looking at their old compositions, this is something quite different, but obviously the addition of Astra changes things quite drastically. Again, I think on the defensive side, we're going to see very proactive pushes, like trying to take away map control and try and make things a lot more awkward for the setups of their opponents.
Of course, Vitality absolutely have to win this next map if they want to stay in the main event here in week 1 and fight for that chance to qualify for the Challengers finals this week. Let's go and head into the next map, boys.
Let's do it, Tom. Let's do it. I'm a bit intrigued, to be honest. I want to see exactly what Jesmond's going to be doing now, differently to before, because he came in, obviously playing Cypher quite a lot, and has picked up the Killjoy. So a big change for them over in the Vitality side that will be interesting to explore. On Haven, I'm a big fan of it. I think there's so many sight lines, and your turret can gain so much information for you. Obviously, the camera can do the same, but you've got to take yourself out of the equation in order to use it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's going to be opportunities no matter like the agent that you're going to be playing. Of course, when you look at the other side of things, Demon 6 Lurk is something that I am a huge fan on this map. Like, he somehow manages to thread the needle through B often, and it's something that you have to be aware of when playing this FPX side, that if you don't spot Demon 6 in the early stages of the round, then he's probably behind you.
Yeah, I think it's similar to Pora when you saw him. Well, we didn't see him earlier on playing the Reyna, but when he did, and whenever he plays the likes of your Cypher or Killjoy, it's something that's nice to see. Those lurking roles done so efficiently and so clean. Yeah. As we move into the game here, Tom, I gotta ask, Haven, your favorite FPX?
Yeah, they're 8-0, Mitch. So this year, so I'm definitely going to be favoring FPX, but I'm hoping that again we can see a little bit of spice from the Vitality side as they look to put their mark, I guess, on EU Valorant. The start not going so well though. Again, the strength of the default, the aggression that I expected to see from the defensive side of Vitality has not gone particularly well. An easy first pick coming out. And wow, a second to follow from Angel. And now I wouldn't be surprised if we just see Vitality go for a fairly hefty gamble, try and stack up somewhere on the map, give themselves a chance in this round, because if they try and play loose, try and cover every single site, they don't stand a chance.
Indeed. Yeah, if you're FPX moving into the attack, though, I do like the very start of this, the way you've seen them just wait for the push. They spread. You talk about Vitality's aggressive default. Well, FPX, they've got a passive one. Just waiting for them to fall into their trap. And that's something that, obviously, they've looked into a lot, expecting that,
30 seconds
ready to
left.
play the late round and run the clock down. Now, with Killjoy utility up on B early on, again, it's the first time you're seeing Killjoy, so that's one thing that could catch them off guard. They're going to find it very easy as they push the C site, because that utility that would obviously do a lot in a pistol round. Even the damage that a turret does in a pistol is very significant when most players will be either operating with a ghost or with a classic or with no armor, and that's what the majority of FPX have gone for. The turret would be nice, but it's nowhere nearby. Look at that. Oh, they're dealing with Sender's flank as well. This is so well thought out from FPX. Their post plan isn't just go find some crossfires and wait. It's let's take proactive map control. Let's think about what they want to do and act specifically against it. That's worked out perfectly to leave Vitality in a position where, I mean, if they had weapons, they'd save, but it's the pistol round, so it's just probably not going to go their way. A nice kill by Jasmine, but time is so low. They've got to go here, and they've got to go now. That defuse is going to be stuck, tagged in the open. So well played by Dimasic to have the camera there. It's undetected, and it's easy as can be.
It looks like they've prepared for every single scenario. It's like somebody who has like all those different pins like on the wall, and they're like, well, this links to this, or this is the possible scenario, and then this, and it's just like, there's nothing you could do. The round's already over the second you lose those first couple of kills. Very well played pistol coming out from FPX. We expect nothing less. But this is where things got a little bit more spicy previously. Now, Brams is going to pull out that wonderful Bucky. As said in the last map, this is the pre-nerf, so it is as powerful as it was originally. That right click is disgusting, although we're still yet to really tell if the nerf is actually a nerf.